What happens after death? Have you ever found yourself pondering what happens after life on Earth ends? Is it the ultimate conclusion, an empty void? Or is there something more? Death is one of humanity's greatest mysteries, a topic that fascinates us, at times fills us with apprehension. But what if I told you that death is not the end, but rather a passage, a new beginning? Prepare to unravel one of existence's most closely guarded secrets and transform your view on life and the beyond. In Spiritism, death is viewed very differently from how most cultures present it. It's not a final stop, but a transition. Allan Kardec, in his monumental work, The Spirit's Book, dedicated an entire chapter to unraveling what happens to the soul after death. The answers from the superior spirits offer us a comforting and logical vision of the continuity of life and the immortality of the soul. The Soul After Death Questions, 149 to 153 from the Spirit's Book. 149. What happens to the soul at the time of death? It becomes a spirit again, meaning it returns to the spirit world that it had briefly left. 150. Does the soul maintain its individuality after death? Yes. What would it be if it did not preserve it? Upon disincarnation, the soul, or spirit, returns to the spiritual world from whence it came. And most importantly, it maintains its individuality. We do not dissolve into an impersonal whole like a drop of water in the ocean. On the contrary, we continue to be who we are, with our memories and characteristics. The soul carries with it the memory of its earthly life, which can be sweet or bitter, depending on how we lived. The more purified it is, the more clearly it recognizes the futility of what it left behind on earth. The life of the spirit is eternal, while that of the body is ephemeral. When the body dies, the soul re-enters eternal life. The separation of soul and body questions, 154 to 158 from the Spirit's Book. 154. Is the separation of the soul from the body painful? No, the body often suffers more during life than at death because the soul is usually unaware of what is occurring to the body at death. The spirit often enjoys what it is feeling because it recognizes that it is at the end of its exile. The separation of the soul and body is not as painful as one might imagine. Often the body suffers more in life than at the final moment. The soul gradually detaches, like a bird escaping its cage. This separation is not abrupt, but a process that can vary from person to person, depending on their attachment to matter. For those who lived a more materialistic life, the detachment can be slower and more painful. For those who are more detached, the transition is almost immediate. It's like the caterpillar transforming into a butterfly. The death of the body is the rebirth of the spirit into a fuller life. Awakening in the Spiritual World Questions, 159 to 165 from the Spirit's Book. 163. Does the soul immediately regain self-consciousness upon leaving the body? Not immediately. It is in a state of confusion. Upon awakening in the spiritual world, the spirit goes through a period of perturbation, a kind of confusion. The duration and intensity of this perturbation depend on the spirit's degree of elevation and its attachment to matter. More purified spirits regain consciousness almost immediately, while more materialistic ones may remain in this state longer. It is a period of adaptation where the spirit begins to understand its new reality. And yes, we are welcomed by those we love who departed before us, according to the degree of mutual affection. The knowledge of Spiritist doctrine and the practice of good in life have a substantial influence on the duration and intensity of this state of perturbation, facilitating the transition. Understanding what happens after death frees us from fear and gives us a new perspective on life. Death is not the end, but the continuation of an eternal journey of learning and evolution. We are immortal beings, and earthly life is just one stage. If this exploration resonated with you, subscribe to our channel to continue unraveling the mysteries of life and the universe. Leave your comment. What does knowing what happens after death mean to you? Share this video and help spread light and knowledge.